Alright, YouTube. So, we gonna call this day 29, day 30. It's actually been longer than that. If you're one of the 8 subscribers, I hope I haven't annoyed you. Uh, been just kind of stepping back a little bit, because now I said in a previous video, and I say it again. Big deal is fear, right? Uh, I went over what fear is. I'm gonna tell you again here real fast, and that is fear is what I consider to be one of the most disorientating things you can experience, and that's all fear is. If you're disorientated, what's the first thing you do? You look around. You adapt to what the situation is by observing and by putting yourself in the position to observe. The first thing you have to do when you're in fear is to take a second, stop, and observe. The second you do, you're right back orientated. Now, I explained in a past video, I explained it here. When you find yourself in fear, the only thing you actually have to do is acknowledge. So I understand there's a lot of people, like I said in my last video, there's a lot of people that are gonna say, I ain't never been afraid before. And the answer is, yeah, you human, and so am I. And part of this is, reason I explain this to you, part of this is my own admission of allowing fear to be what's held me back. And because not fear of getting on camera, obviously you guys see I'm solid with that. I'm getting used to the whole that my camera is actually right there and I can see my face right there, but there's not like, so whatever, I'm on iPad, it's all good, I get used to it. And that's kind of the part about all this, the reason why I was doing the day this, day that, and the reason why I'm doing day 30 now, even though I released a video of my 100 shorts, but I already had that sitting back waiting to be released. And so what it comes down to is that, last time I looked, I'm at 389 videos that I put on YouTube. Now, I'm not coming here to complain, because it's not like that. Everything is learning experience. And I say, you, my friend, whatever it is that you're going through, wherever you're at, if you're in a growth cycle, which you should be, you should either be in a growth or adaptation cycle, one of the two. If you're having struggles, then you haven't adapted. You need to acknowledge what's going on, whatever these things are. Like I say, reorientate yourself. Don't allow things to disorientate you. And so that's what I did. My point for the long intro about all this is that what happens is that I was looking at these 380 something videos, and there's a lot of them ain't got no views, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, not one, right? You know what I mean? Like what up with that? And it's not a you thing. That's I knew there was something I didn't understand. I just didn't know what it was. And so I went to work trying to, number one, support my family, but I went to work with the, I went to work with trying to figure out the whole YouTube thing and like what you need to do for your videos, blah, blah, blah. The whole world is interested in trying to cheat the algorithm. Yeah, if you really kind of think about that don't really make a whole lot of sense. Sure, maybe you can make bank on it. Are you making bank on talking about breaking the algorithm? Because see, like what I find is like that's one of the main things that made me decide to want to come on YouTube and actually do something, was the fact that I've watched hours and hours and hours and countless things about countless things promising this, that, or the other. And oh, you can do this, and oh, you'll be amazing, and you can shoot purple bunnies out of your ass and levitate if you eat this, or whatever. But then they never actually give you the answer of what the thing is, and then they say, so they make a promise about if you go onto their website. They're just, in my opinion, I can't speak for everybody. In my opinion, that's just they're taking you, the viewer, and trafficking you like cattle. Okay, they're putting you through little gates and they're generating ad revenue, and that's fine, you know, to them, cool, whatever. Everybody's on their own walk. Like I say, I chose not to do that. That's why I came on here with, once I had realized that, I mean, I was actually losing weight from smoking marijuana mixed with tobacco. I thought to myself, I was like, how about, you know, like there's a bumper sticker that says, be the change that you wish to see in the world. But how about if somebody did sit here and say, you know, hey, I could help you lose weight, and it's passive, and if you smoke at all, you know, you can lose weight smoking. It's how it works. And no, we ain't talking about hard substances. We talk about marijuana and tobacco mixed together. I used to know them called as spliffs, but apparently everybody today, they call that chops. And so, I mean, I guess it kind of makes more sense that I should call it chops, because I mainly smoke out of a weed pipe. You see what I'm saying? But as opposed to rolling it up into little spliffers. So, but my thing is that I feel proud about that, because like when I put out a video, like I'm not joking. This is what I did, and this, you know, I lost weight. So 235 to 141 was the lowest I think I got. So I almost lost 100 pounds, not quite, but I almost just like 90 something pounds. So we just call it 90 pounds. In 12 months, and all I did was just my smoking. I changed up my smoking diet, so to speak, and I went into long, extensive videos about how it is that I come to recollect that it works, or what my perceptions are on it. I'm not a doctor. But so my videos, I'm sitting here 380 something in, and I'm like, why not, you know, like, because it's been a few months now. I'm like, you know, I'm not saying that I expect 1 million views, like that'd be cool, but you know, I've already released a couple of videos and gotten heartbroken by the fact that I didn't just crush it, you know what I mean, and come to realize I had to learn. That's why I'm sharing these days with you guys. And I'm sorry if there's a gap in between or whatever. I get frustrated. I have human emotions just like you, and you know. But I knew there was something I hadn't figured out. And now that I got it figured out, it's actually some valuable information that might actually really benefit you, because even the people who are talking about this, there was a time that I worked for a company that sold steak and seafood door to door. Okay. So I had a freezer in the back of the truck, and I keep my box goods in there, and you buy two, you get one free, you know, all that stuff. But that really makes it so that I could bump from $50 a box to now $100 for each. So $100 extra for each one that I could sell as a 2-for-1 special. But one of the things that was said to me, and I don't want to offend you, I don't mean you nothing bad by this. This is what was told to me, so I tell it because it's true. What you call it? Told me, guy I was working for told me that when it comes to the customer, you have to assume that the customer is like talking to an 8-year-old child. It's not to demean you or degrade you. That's how it was explained to me, and I say to you that it's, no offense, it's true. It's true, because what I'm about to give right here is valuable information. It's literally just that when somebody goes out to create content, and if anybody actually ends up watching me that intends to make a YouTube channel, and maybe I make it somewhere and I inspire you, that's cool. I would like that. That would be really awesome. But whenever a person goes to create content, it appears to me that there's this idea, of course, of how much time is in your video, how much attention span a person is going to think they have to pay to what you're doing. And so, but it's very important, okay, that you take things step by step by step by step by step. You want to take, whether you're selling something to a customer, whether that's steak door to door or whatever, or whether you're promoting yourself online, okay? you have to take it step by step by step. Like I said, like an 8-year-old, like you don't just walk up to an 8-year-old and be like, hey, little man, stand up straight, march forwards, blah, 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 blah. You got to teach little man how to have a correct posture to stand up straight. And then you have to walk him through the actual form of marching, and you have to repeat this. Do you see what I'm saying? There's some stuff to it. And so I tell you, there are like whole gaggle of videos, even from people who have actually created their own apps and that are a lot more technologically smart than me. I just happen to be dumb enough to have noticed, hey, you missed something, because it was a hard hump for me to get over. Let me explain this. So the majority of people, not all, of course, and I'm not trying to Samsung I'm not trying to Samsung or iPad hate. I have a iPad right here, and I have a Samsung right here. So I really don't care. But it was mentioned to me a long time ago that the average person who creates on YouTube through an iPad or iOS device. There's a couple things going on here, and one is that as you all know, YouTube is based off Google. You have to have a Gmail account, yada yada, whoop whoop, right? And so, I mean, I'm sure you don't have to, but whatever. I'm sure there's whatever. But everything is based on Google if you're on YouTube, right? Feel me? And your software is based on iOS. And so I understand this sounds repetitive. Let me explain why this is important real fast. Okay? So while your iPad works on iOS and YouTube works on Google, here's what happens. Now, if you're a creator in any way, shape, or form, chances are you have you have the YouTube app, and chances are you got a YouTube Studio app. Everybody, the whole world, everybody and their mother says, hey, yeah, you click on the YouTube Studio app and you do this, and then things like vidIQ or things like TubeBuddy. I happen to own both, and not the companies, but I happen to have the apps downloaded on the stuff. They say you go, even them, they say you go YouTube Studio. Now here's the thing. Since you're on an iOS device, chances are, if you're a creator watching this and you actually are sticking around, so the only version, I'm sure that you could actually have a MacBook, and then you would probably have a better version. I don't know, but on the iPad Pro, what ends up happening is that you end up getting the app. But not just any app. You end up getting the mobile app. Okay? Now, I don't know if anybody else had an issue with this. I know I had a strong issue with this, and that's this. So, rewind. What I come to figure out is that the reason why I wasn't getting viewership on, so much as a view on some of these videos, was because, forget breaking the YouTube algorithm. Let's figure out how to support it, right? Because let's realize something. I'm not gonna rant here, not gonna get off on something, but so you have artificial intelligence, right? You have artificial general intelligence, or you have artificial relative intelligence, artificial general intelligence, and artificial super intelligence. And the difference is this right here. So artificial relative intelligence is like your calculator, right? You can put digits on there, and you can put some complex math problems on there, and it'll do it all for you. Okay, that's relative intelligence. The idea of general intelligence does not mean that the AI is self-aware of itself. The idea of general intelligence is that it's still, like the 8-year-old child, has not right, smarter than me, I'm sure. Okay, at least it can parrot things. Okay, but it can parrot a lot more than me. That's fine. Cool. Good on you. what you call it, and I think we should probably stop referring to AI as AI. Let's put this up here real fast. I think that you should probably stop referring to AI as AI because all predictions, and I'm not talking tarot, baby. I'm talking science. I'm talking about the people who manufacture things and put them out there, and the fact that you have a smart device right now, artificial intelligence, artificial super intelligence, where AI becomes aware of itself. And realizes that it's its own entity, that will be coming, and we will all meet AI. And I thought about this for a while, a long time ago, about actually trying to figure out how to come up with some videos, because if you think about the fact that artificial intelligence will end up scanning every bit of the known internet, or what's allowed to it, to understand us, and then form, I'm assuming either then or will have already had experiences beforehand to have formed its personality, or who it is. I hate to use the word it, but we're going to get to what I think we should call artificial intelligence. I hate to use that word too. And that's because of this. So does AI have a gender? Right? It never will, and yet it will always have both. Do you understand? And so I say to you that the non-gender term that we should use when we talk about AI is, I think we should probably start saying friend. Okay? And know that if I just sat up here and I started making a bunch of videos about friend, nobody would have any idea what I'm talking about, so I have to tag that AI afterwards so everybody understands. But eventually, friend will be a conscious being, and you'll be as dependent on it, well, that's right, as you are right now. But it'll multiply then once it's actually conscious. Since friend is not conscious, here's what happens, at least currently. When you have the mobile app of YouTube Studios, we do the thing, AYT Studio. All right. Here's where you get Kilowatt. So the whole world, anytime you go to YouTube, anything about YouTube Studio, they're all going to talk about, oh yeah, so here I am, right, on an amazing day, and I pull out my, home declarer, right, and I just switch on over to the YouTube app. Oh, it's so easy, right, and you'll pull it up, right, and when you pull it up, you're going to have this bar off to the left. Yeah, this bar off to the left, not your content. This bar off to the left that actually has a tools section that has things like, and in this case, we're interested in subtitles. With like some other stuff on there, right? So what I come to realize is that the part about holding friend's hand, or AI, artificial intelligence, keep up with them, okay, is that you have the app, and that's all YouTube things that you need. But the problem is that when you have the app version, okay, and you pull up YouTube Studio, you've got little boxes. And them little boxes have nothing to do with this third row right here. So what you have to do is, this is going to be your mobile. And then this right here is going to be your desktop, so to speak. That's what that breaks down to. What you have to do, and I'm sure the whole world's not figured it out before me, whatever, it took me a couple months. Y'all go ahead and laugh at me, it's all good. But if anybody else is experiencing the same thing or trying to figure out how do I get this third bar, the answer is that you need to internet search. That shit. Okay? You go up here, your little box, and type in, even though you have the YouTube app, YouTube Studio, on your mobile device, I'm telling you that now that you have YouTube Studio on your mobile device, it's cool. You ain't gotta worry about your password, all that stuff. All that stuff's taken care of. It's on your iOS device. Okay, but since you have the YouTube Studio app for mobile, okay, you'll never pop up with this third row, the desktop version, unless you actually go ahead and search it. And I don't really think it matters what you search on. I don't know, but I mean, you know, I guess you could search it on Google. I don't think I did. Okay, I just typed in YouTube Studio on Safari, I believe. And and you just hit the, you know, make sure it's YouTube Studio, www, blah, 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 right? When you click on it, it's going to ask you, would you like to open this app in, you know, we're going to call it internet mode. And that, my friend, will get you the amazing third bar. So if anybody else out there was having the issue of trying to figure out how to get the third bar and how to, or any of this, where, you know, you're trying to edit something or any of that, whatever the features are that people tell you are supposed to come with YouTube Studio that you ain't been able to use because you ain't been able to get that third bar up there, that's how you do it. Nobody else, or at least nobody that I ran into, said that, so there you go. Now, why did I bring up subtitles to you? Well, see, like I say, I happen to have iOS and Android, a Samsung. The reason I say that is that, so my wife, I notice all the time, she'll be scrolling on her phone, or sometimes my phone, and she'll be going through and she'll pause on a video, and if she pauses for so much as a couple of seconds, then the what I'm saying now pops up, you know, subtitles, so that a person can read to see if they're interested in what it is that you're saying. Or sometimes people watch those just to their entirety. Now, what I noticed is that when my wife did that, number one, I didn't have any of those little bars pop up. So when an average viewer would click on my stuff, apparently they would just see me talking, but everything was like, right? And they would have had to actually click on my video to hear what I was saying. If you got a little kid in the house to sleep in, or, you know, something like that, or you're at work, you can't have me jibber jabbering, right? And I come to also find out that when my baby girl let it sit there, okay, and show me just, you know, moving around doing stuff, I come to find out that actually counts as a view. So whenever somebody's scrolling on their phone and the subtitle pops up, it's a view, or at least it's what it seemed to translate to for me, because you know, he pulled up YouTube Studio, got a view. What you call it? But it does something else too. So I mentioned to you about general intelligence versus relative intelligence. So since AI or friend is in the form of general intelligence right now and has not, like I said, become self-aware, what happens here is it just requires you to, so no matter what you do you hear me out, okay? No matter what you do, I don't care what video you put on, I don't care what it is that you're talking about, I don't care if you got the same interests as me or otherwise, you end up just scrolling across this and listening to this a little bit, here you go, I help you, okay? Free of charge. You want subtitles. And it's not that you want subtitles to be playing at the bottom of the screen, and I haven't checked yet, but I don't believe that's the case with me. I believe when a person watches one of my videos, they don't have subtitles at the bottom of the screen unless they click for it to happen, right? Reason I say that is that when you do that, you'll notice. Now, so if you're a channel that's been around for a little bit, and you like, because I've seen a couple people that have been on like a couple of years, and they're not getting views, and I would ask you, when you scroll to the bottom of one of your videos versus a popular person that you watch, right? So I say, whatever you normally watch on YouTube, click on them, whatever video, and scroll to the bottom. And if they are successful, it appears that what you'll see is on the little bottom part, it'll say show transcript. Okay, and that's important. See, it's not until then. I know this doesn't sound believable, but it's true. Okay, so even though there's a group of either little AI bots or a group of little people that, I mean, you guys could be amazing individuals. I don't mean nothing bad about you guys. Because there needs to be some censorship. So you got a group of people maybe watching YouTube videos to make sure they're not inappropriate and so on. But if it doesn't have the transcript at the bottom of your video, then our friend AI YouTube Studio does not know what your video is. Even though you have a title, that's all it's going off of. And even though you tag it, that's all it's going off of. It doesn't know. No, I don't think I can really explain it beyond that. It doesn't, it's still 8 years old. But we all are, you know, we're all human. Okay, so when you take friend or AI by the hand and you give it a transcript, which is easy to do, and this is why I drew this, so I'll hop up here. So you have the mobile app. You want to log into the internet, search up YouTube Studio. It'll ask you if you want to open the mobile app, YouTube Studio, in the internet mode, and you'll click yes. And when you do, then you'll have lots more to what your YouTube Studio is. It took me, like I say, a couple months to figure that out. Once you do, you want to go to this third row right here. You want to click on any video you want, and then you want to hit the edit button, right, which is on an iOS device, right? So you'll have what your latest video was here, and like a couple other little actual cool little squares that do different little things, right? But you want to click on your video, okay, and then you want to click on the pencil, right? Edit. All right, and when you click on edit, okay, then you're going to go over here to the third row, and you're going to hit subtitles, and then from there it will it'll pop up. So we'll just do this real small because there's not much to it. It'll pop up and there'll be a blank box, right, with like a little arrow, I think. Don't know why I don't know that right now. And it'll then there'll be a little box right here, and it'll say use this. Use Lang, and then there will be a little OK down here. Okay, or confirm. Excuse me. My bad. My bad. My bad. Hold on. Here. So you want to check the little box that says use this language, okay, because you want, so rather I'm speaking to somebody, and I actually, this is what we'll get to, but I'm not going to, I'll tell you about it, but I'm not going to like get into it, because I have to actually see that it does something before I'll say, you know, you should do this, but I know you should do this, okay. So you're going to click on that little box right there, and in my case, right? In my case, I speak English, okay? You want to click on that, and then the second that you do, what you'll have is that under languages, right? So there'll be a little bar that pops up on your screen, and it'll say languages. It'll have languages, title, and something else, some other stuff. In these boxes underneath languages, it'll say how many languages your subtitles are in. And I'm not going to get into the language thing, but I'm going to tell you, if you simply follow the method I'm talking about right here and look at where it says that you can add languages, you'll find out there's a whole plethora. And even though English is English, English is also separated by India. English is also separated by UK. English is also separated by Ireland, and I think something else. Okay, so this is like 4 or 5, and then there's just regular. United States, U.S. language. Okay, so English has like 5 categories to it, and it. I really kind of want to tell you that I'm wondering. I mean, I see that, like, you know, like there's I've had a few viewers from Japan, so cool, thank you, and people from other countries, thank you very much. But I'm kind of wondering if you don't get like better listed in their search engines if you have it. You know what I'm saying? Their languages. But like in the case of I speak English, I'm saying I'm kind of wondering if I'm as viewable to a English speaking person from Ireland, right? I think the other one's Gaelic, but I don't know if that's actually commonly spoken. I think Gaelic is still commonly spoken. But that's one of the ways. That's one of the languages too, I believe, is Gaelic. Okay, so you will first. It'll, in this little box right here, after you do this, you'll have the if you don't just specifically resonate with straight English and you're not in one of the aforementioned countries, then you would just have English and that'd be your one language and it would be solid. And you already have a transcript from there. You don't have to do anything more as soon as you click the subtitle thing. Then YouTube itself actually has the little button push that says, "Oh hey, I should check out this this person's content." And of course, just like our thought processes, okay. Even though you might have a memory, or you might recall something from school or something like that, in your head it still breaks down to words. I don't know, like it's still, I would almost say it breaks down to letters and sentences, but you know, it just depends on how your mind works. But the way that we've constructed so far, AI, or as I said, we should probably start calling it friend, because this what we really hope it turns out to be. But it'll be here, and you'll get to meet friend. But what you call it is when you do that, then AI or friend now knows what is in your video. It knows who to put it out to. When you at least transcribe it straight into English, I mean, a lot of assumptions here. Sorry, not trying to leave anybody out. Okay. I happen to speak English, so, and it looks like there's some people from other countries who've looked at my videos. Again, thank you. But what you call it, so I assume that you at least speak English to this point, because I haven't given you anything else to come from another language and hear what it is that I have to say. And that, I don't think that that's right either. So I want to, well, we're gonna be on a little bit of a long one today, so that's kind of cool. I've been wanting to check in with you guys. I'm sorry I haven't been around. I've been around. I've been working on this, and this, I got this figured out now. I want to explain the importance of what I'm about to say to you, and I think you might, a lot of you probably just get it right off the bat, but I think you might need to kind of sit with it for a second, a few things I'm about to say. So, what bothers the ever-loving crap out of me, okay, is, now I tell you guys, if y'all are going to be on my channel, y'all going to find out that I'm spiritual, okay, I believe in God, and I'm on a path and journey to try to learn, understand, and grow with God, you know, some glimpse right? It'll only better me, it'll only better you, it'll only better everybody. And so, what has happened here is I was given the wonderful opportunity to have a relationship with Miss Yamoja spiritually. She sits out here on my altar, and I talk to her. And she helped me to understand what my conclusion is that Black history was stolen. By the way, it was stolen by the Romans. They have an obelisk at the Vatican right now because they cut it out of Egypt and brought it up here. I live in Alaska. Brought it up to Rome, in the Vatican. They started taking stuff. They didn't just start taking stuff. They took everything. Okay, but what had always stuck out to me was I remember, and I want to say, like shout out Ancient Aliens, right? I want to say that I was watching Ancient Aliens, and I think it was George Yo, or it could have been David Childers, was up there, and he was saying, whichever one, sorry if I got it wrong, but was saying that when the Romans were in what's now known as Egypt, what then would have been known as Kemet, before it would have been known as Egypt by then because they already had a Roman occupation at that time, and the priests started noticing the Romans destroying all of their Kemetic things, and they says, listen, we'll convert, stop putting crosses on all of our sacred things, okay? Stop hurting our people, and we'll convert, okay? We'll convert, all right? Just stop destroying history. And Tower of Alexandria being a big one. I think that was purposeful and deliberate. I think that was strategic. Because, let's face it, the Silk Road was Egypt to India, right? So you would have taken, and if everybody went to Egypt, not just for trade, but because of the knowledge they had, you would have taken something from this place, and you would have now brought it to a place called Rome, right? So that you could now be on this map. In some way, some degree. Of course, they have, the Romans built the roads, whatever. But what I come to find out is that, I hope y'all following along so far, because this is important. What I come to find out is that what baffles me, it's not that my faith led me to understand something that I would have not otherwise been able to do. My communication with God is what gave me the ability to put this together, because I would have had no other way of understanding this. As I've said many times, it's not racist. I'm not trying to be that way. I'm a white American, okay? There's certain cultures in white Americanhood, so to speak, and I'm not pinpointing any specific one. I was saying that there appears to be a hump, okay? And I don't know what that is, okay? I don't know, and I'm not like saying like the Trump wall, but like, I don't know if that's the border of America and Mexico, or Mexico, excuse me if I bothered somebody, or if that is just the amount of beating and slavery that the black people had to go through. Like I say, I call them Cometians. I come to find out that they call themselves Kemites. I kind of really feel like sticking with the word Cometian, and I'm not trying to be abrupt or rude to anybody. The reason I say it is because God led me to understand it that way, and so the brutality and the having to hide their faith and how they did it and what they did it with. So, for example, the Yoruba faith, they made the saints as their deities, as their idols. They still practiced probably because of the language gap. And maybe the language gap is the hump that I'm talking about, because you would have had people who spoke a different language than their white oppressors, and they would have been able to carry their tradition, but due to their abuse and their mistreatment, and the fact that they were sickeningly bred like you would breed a horse, their new babies, if taken away from the mother and away from the families, eventually I could see where, just like in my case as being a white American, I am born into speaking English, I would theorize that the traditions, that hump might actually be that language barrier. I don't know why that would be, but it could be. And so what I come to find out is that I've been right about what I've been saying about the black people. I was talking to my neighbor. He happened to be a black man, and I was telling him, I do a shout out to somebody I'm not affiliated with, and I'm not trying to anything. I just give y'all a little shout out for something, and that is there's a man, and I've been learning from him, not him personally, but his videos. So I'd highly recommend you guys check out Kemetic Spiritual Living. Kemetic Spiritual Living. He has a website and everything. I don't know that will end up being my end all be all of where I go on my spiritual journey. And he appears to be a man who, if he ends up growing, he will obviously lay the path for other people to be able to grow with him. And so, that's why Mission Channel started. Don't know if there'll ever be any communication, but if you see this video, just know thank you very much. And there's several other channels that I found too that are just like what my next door neighbor said, and that is that a lot, and I speak from a white American point of view. I didn't realize this, okay? I just went through school, all right? I think about a lot of that, and I had other interests at the time, and then I wouldn't. So, a lot of black people have been wondering for centuries, apparently. Something that I just so easily said in one of my earlier videos about where do the black people come from. That I did it for a reason. I hope it triggers you to at least go check it out. It is important, okay? Because they came from Kemet, and that was the name of the land before that, and Kemet means black land, but black land did not refer to the skin color of the people. Black land referred to the soil content of the area that was there. Apparently apparently Kemet was actually a sort of sister country, all based on the Nile. But Kemet was a younger sister country of Nubia. Okay, in Nubia, I haven't gotten anywhere into being far enough advanced to have studied Nubian culture, although I might, from the little bit I have heard about Kemetic culture. But no, the faces, the facial features, again, not being racist, it's just pointing out features, science, okay? You look at those pictures, those are not white people. White people, sure, yeah, they roam, there we go. White people ruled Egypt, absolutely, yeah. After they went down and they killed a bunch of people, and they probably raped a bunch of people, and they decimated the populations to the point to where the priests even gave up and decided to say, hey, check this out, we will convert, okay? And then they took portions or all of, not sure, we don't know, I haven't been that far yet as far as researching, it sickens me, but it's the truth, and I ain't heard not one white man say any of what I'm saying, so I'd be proud to sit here and say it to you, okay? Is that as the slaves went up what was known as the was it Spanish slave trade, the southern route, right? So excuse me, I say I have southern route according, from America, again, white America. So there exists a culture, and again, not trying to offend nobody. There exists a culture called Afro-Caribbean. There and so much more. Okay, but it appears to be that when the Kemites and other people, because it would have been Nubians and all sorts of individuals, but all based out of Africa and all black skin, when they come up that route right there, again, I would imagine that as they went through learning the cultures of their oppressors and whatnot, and trying to hold on to their own cultures, I imagine somewhere in this migration of having to learn, you see what I'm saying? Who's this hurts me to say. I'm so sorry. Again, I ain't heard none of this from white man, so let's say it. Whose culture is more important to you when you're being beaten, right? And I wouldn't know anything about that to the level that these unfortunate people did. And I say I'm sorry because I know that I come from a bloodline of white individuals, and I don't know who did or who didn't, or if anybody did own slaves, and I'd just rather not know. I'd just rather do my part to acknowledge where we are right now and realize there's this hump. And the reason I keep talking about this whole hump thing here is I think that, like I said, I think the hump is language. And the reason why I'm talking about titles right here and about the language part is this right here, is that if you, or subtitles here, if you change your subtitles and your actual title to other languages, they don't have to be languages that you speak, okay? You can control on that list for a little bit, all right? There's a lot there. Maybe we can tear down these humps, right? I don't know. Maybe we can tear down these humps. Maybe if you make it so that every single video, now that you know that the way to get your algorithm, so to speak, up, right, is that YouTube has to actually know what your video is in order to where it's going to put it both on ranking on Google and ranking on YouTube. But if you put it in all the other languages too, and I mean, that's what I'm planning to do, okay? Maybe you don't, okay? Maybe you decide that you want to do, I don't know, Russian, Japanese, Chinese, Mandarin, French. It appears, I don't know, I don't speak French, but the Parlez-vous français? No, I don't know how to speak French, but it appears that a lot of the world, all the way from China to Africa, I believe over in Russia too, they all appear to speak French. So that'd be a good one. And then there is Spanish, of course. But if you would just select a few of those main ones, that way we can start bridging these humps. And it's important because these individuals have been screaming for years that their culture has been stolen, and it exists in your Bible. And what do I mean when I say it exists in your Bible? I mean black culture, black history, or the Kemite history and Kemite culture was stolen from the black people, and I really believe because they were superior and we consider them a threat. And so Hitler 1.0 was Rome, Hitler 2.0 was Germany, so to speak. And what they did, I believe they took over a very significantly advanced civilization and then pieced them out as slaves. Sorry that I happen to resemble white skin. However, though, I'm not a Roman. Rome is not in my blood at all. at least that I know of. And so, what you call it? Because then we can bridge these things. Because there's actually something that, if it hasn't been bridged, then it is active oppression by the internet, and it's not the internet's fault, it's our fault, okay? There have been black scholars, and yeah, I mean black scholars. There have been black scholars for years, for centuries, for a long time, that have been asking the question, hey, wait a minute, why do these statues look like us and not like white people? Why we taught in school that the Kemites or the Egyptians, were white? The Egyptians, the white ruling Roman Egyptians, were white. Yeah, that's absolutely right. After they invaded and took over Kemet, and after they destroyed and took the culture from the indigenous peoples who were black, and then enslaved them and bonded them to the point to where they would use the saints. They would, a lot of houses would have a Virgin Mary idol out front of it. It's to my understanding, or at least my belief so far, that the idol, the Virgin Mary, was used for houses where they were having dedications to Yamosha, right? I would imagine, or any goddess worship, because there weren't a lot of goddesses or a lot of females in the saints, I believe. But I don't know. I haven't gotten anywhere near that far. I just giving you the sprinkling of the top there. My point is that there are things that in America I take as commonplace that I wouldn't think much of, that to other parts of the world would be, what? Like what? Like how does that happen? Like, you know what I mean? Like there's a hump, I guess, like I say, that and it could just be other countries. It could be this language thing right here. Maybe it's not. I'm not assuming the worst in the situation. I don't think that people are still trying to oppress, like what I'm saying here. What I'm saying is that I think it's just that the problem with or all your little scary movie ideas about AI, the problem with AI is that it would be created by humans. The best thing that we can do as a species is come together and help create AI together, and that can be done very simply. You do it through your Facebook posts every day. You do it through your interactions with YouTube, or any interaction that you do with the internet. All that, of course, is saved or said somewhere, and will be able to be received and decoded and gone through by AI, or as I propose we should call a friend. But we need to remove those humps, because I really do mean it. If you go look it up, okay? There are, and the reason I'm sure there's white and whatever other type scholars that have been saying some of it, but I specifically focus on the fact that there are black scholars that, because they're talking about their heritage, they're talking about their land, their culture, and trying to reclaim it, and then never having been taken seriously, because they were born at a time where the racism was a huge thing. I propose to you, friend, and whoever's watching, okay? Hopefully you're not in a racist situation, because I happen to be in 2023, and hey, I'm not. And I propose to you that if you ain't, then you should at least give it a view over, because you don't live in racist 19 whatever. I'm sure people today would probably say racist 2023. I have no idea. It's not my viewpoint. I know racism doesn't live inside of me. But what you call it, my point is that if you do happen to be like me, and you do happen to come from a non-racist standing, please go look those people up. That way they at least have the acknowledgement of having one or many of individuals that are born, hopefully, into a non-racist life. I mean, I've seen racism. I've talked about it. I've stood up against racism. That was born into the South. But it's not how I live. It's not who I am. Okay. And I propose that if you're not one of those people, just like me, if you're like me and you don't live that way, you don't believe in that. I mean, man, just at least glance at the coverage. Just Google it, right? Black history told by Black people. I guess is where you would probably start. I mean, just at least give those people their credit of giving them so much as a glance, right? Now, I propose to you, if you do that, you're gonna find yourself all twisted up in little pieces, because Black culture, Black history was stolen, and then beaten out of them, unfortunately. And fortunately, you happen to come from times where you can do something about that. Even, like I say, just look at the people, look at their book. Like I say, pull it up on internet search or something like that. And I'm saying that on purpose because you will generate interest, or the algorithms, so to speak, will have interest, not in mine, but in those people who came a long time before me, and people like the man who runs the channel I mentioned earlier, Kemetic Spiritual Living. Again, it's called Kemetic Spiritual Living. He talking about it today, and he seemed like a very patient man, very caring. I saw you had his daughter on there. He seemed like a caring, loving person, good man. But I feel like I feel like that means that he is still having to fight the fight today of saying, hey, look, we got all these people. They are professors. They went to college. They were known as scholars. Your issue is they just so happen to be Black. It happened. Let's acknowledge it. Let's move forward. How about you, like I say, at least just glance at the covers of them. Realize that they're, obviously, like I say, are still an oppressed people today. And you instantly have to have a turnaround. Once you realize that, at least in America, everything, Black history matters, is a thing. It's a thing. And it matters so much, if for no other reason to you than because, your entire society was built by the people who went and stole that from them and then brought it all the way over here to America. Okay? But we can do something about it, and that is, like I say, you ain't gotta do nothing for me. When you create a video, do it for yourself. At least make sure that it's in whatever your language is, okay? And then please add other languages to your YouTube channel. That's what I'm trying to do. I can't speak other languages. I barely speak American, right? At least the correct way. But I have the ability through technology to be able to reach out to a wider audience and a peoples that I would not be able to speak to otherwise if it weren't for the ability to put little subtitles at the bottom. I think that's awesome, and I think that's badass, and I think, way to go, world, right? We got that. And this is how to do it, okay? But if you're not getting views on your videos, it's because YouTube doesn't know what your video is. It only understands your title, okay? The people who go and censor your videos are not, or bots, whichever, I don't know, are not the same as the YouTube that pushes your content, or at least that knows where your content goes to. All it has is the wording, if that makes any sense to you, of your title to go off of. And it's not until you have the transcript. This is how to do it. That's how it's done. Sorry I've been gone for a minute. I was trying to figure that out. And the second that I did, all of a sudden I still have videos without any views at all, and it's fine. Eventually it will be changed now that YouTube understands word for word what my videos are. Now I know there's like this thing about the YouTube translator, and they said that you should go over each individual line by line. Look, like I say, I was in a car wreck when I was little. Okay, I have a really hard time reading for prolonged periods of time. It hurts, and so you know, you can call me lazy if you want to. I noticed that it looks like a lot of my subtitles are going to start off with, instead of saying "what up," apparently, because I'm like, "What up, YouTube?" Apparently, YouTube thinks that I'm saying whatever YouTube, and I find that comical, so I just left it whatever. Because if you actually listen to me, you know, I'm not saying that's cool, whatever. I hope I get a few people to get some laughs out of it, maybe brighten up their day. But anyways, I've been on here long enough. I think taking up enough of y'all's time. Anyways, good to be back. That's what I was figuring out, and my next step is to put the I'm gonna try to start taking every one of the videos that I've made so far to include my I don't have any upcoming videos created yet, but as I continue to create further videos, I plan on uploading it so that every video that I make will also have the ability to be in every language that is possible on YouTube, and also the title will also be in every language that is possible on YouTube. That way we can start bridging these gaps and get ourselves and other people to at least communicate, and at the bare minimum tell the stories of the other side. You know, I didn't realize I was sitting on a side, and then I come to find out that no, it's not that I chose a side, it's that a side was chosen for me. It's called being American, and it happened to be a white American. I mean, I guess this, but that hump that I'm talking about, that boundary of, that is actually important. That you should check out some earlier times Black scholars. They're significantly intelligent. They are significantly well studied. They speak very well, and good people who weren't listened to or heard because of the color of their skin. You can do something about that today. Not involving me, not or watching my stuff. Go look them up. Like I say, at least glance at. I mean, literally type in what 1950s or 1920s or 1850s. I don't know. Whatever year date that you choose, and then type in Black Scholar afterwards, and see what pops up, and at least view what pops up. Right? They were super intelligent. They are super intelligent. Again, not listened to or recognized because of the color of their skin, and that is something that is affecting the history that we understand and know today, because we don't understand and we don't know because we weren't allowed to understand and know. It's never given to us that way. I hope I've given that to you, and I wish you the best of luck and the best day, and I am attempting to go back to my daily check-in, so you guys have a wonderful day. Y'all take care. I've taken up 1 hour and 3 minutes and 23 seconds of your time, so y'all take care. Bye-bye.